What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Darku, and in this video I'm going to be showing you where all of the Sinnoh Wisp locations are for 2023's Halloween event in PokeMMO. Alright, for this first one we're flying to Vilestone City and we're on our way to Turnback Cave where Giratina was originally, and we're going to try and find the Distortion World. Now this isn't first on the list, but you definitely don't want it to be the last one on the list either. If you're wondering why I have the Parasect on the screen, it's because it has the ability of Damp, and in this region where you find the ghost Pokemon, it's Drifblim and Drifbloom, and they have self-destruct, so you're going to want to counter that if you want to try and catch these Pokemon. If you don't know already, the very first Wisp that you touch gives you an encounter of said Pokemon, and then every 5 Wisps after that is also an encounter, and at the very end you fight the Alpha Drifblim. Now in order to find the correct room in Turnback Cave it's pretty random. You just need to keep going through doors and doors until you eventually find it. Obviously this is edited, so I definitely didn't take 20 minutes trying to find this one room. Eventually you will find it within the Distortion World though if you follow my steps. Next up, we're on our way to Twinleaf Town and making our way north to Lake Verity, where one of the legendaries would be in the lake, usually on the old games. Obviously not in PokeMMO, but there will be a Wisp there. From there on, we will fly to Sanjum Town and make our way south through 219, 220 and 221 near the POW Park to find the Wisp at the very bottom right. Next up, we'll be flying to Jubilee Life City and we're going on Route 204 towards the Ravaged Path. When we're in here, we actually need to head to the very top right of this cave, not the top left even though you can see me do it, very top right of this cave, and the Wisp will be there. For our next one, we're flying to Eterna City and we're going to go to the very far left in Eterna Forest, and we want to go to the old chateau just north of there. Once inside, obviously you want to go in the back room and you can find the Wisp behind the table. Next up, we'll be going to Oreburgh City, and on the very far left we'll go through the cave which is known as the Oreburgh Gate. When we go through the cave, we just want to go all the way through, surf all the way across to the very far left, and just behind the strength boulder will be the Wisp. If you push it wrong, don't worry, you can log out and log back in and it will reappear as well. So for this next one, we're flying back to Oreburgh City and we're actually going to go to Sky Pillar, which is everyone's worst nightmare. We have to go through Mount Coronet many different ways. Obviously I'm going to be waffling on in the background so that you can just follow the background footage without it being sped up too much. Now there's been bugs in the past if a player has Adamant Orb or Lustrous Orb on them, so if you for some reason can't see the Wisp when we reach the top of Sky Pillar, you need to put your Adamant Orb or Lustrous Orb on a Pokemon or sell them, do something with them, just so that you can actually fix this bug. But I don't want to waffle on too much, so I'll let you watch the background footage and I won't speed up too much that you can't follow it. If it genuinely is too fast for you, there is a cogwheel on YouTube which allows you to slow videos down or speed them up. For the next one, we're going to fly to Solaceon City and just head south of here just a tiny bit and go in what essentially is Sinnoh's Pokemon Tower. When we eventually reach the top, you'll find the Wisp up there as well. For this next one, we're flying to Pastoria City and we're just going to head to our far right on Route 213, and this is one of the easiest ones to reach, in fact. You just need to rock climb up and you'll find the Wisp there. In hindsight, I would say let this be the last Wisp you pick up, because then if you fail the Alpha battle, you don't have very far to travel. Back to Solaceon Town then, we're going to head far north and then to the right just a little bit and do some zigzagging rotations, and we'll eventually reach the next Wisp. Off to Snowpoint City then, which is at the top of the map, we're going to be heading for Route 217. This is absolutely horrendous obviously because it's hard snowing, so you're going to be a bit slow, it's hard to see anything, but you're basically going to just walk down the left hand side and then through the middle and you'll see it next to 2 trees. It's actually surprisingly very visible. For this next one, I flew to Sunyshore City and just headed straight north to 223. However, I will say if you're at the bottom of Victory Road, it's probably a little bit faster from that direction as well. This one is actually kind of hard to miss, honestly, so you just head north from where I was and it's on the right hand side. This next one is in Canalave City, and embarrassingly enough, this took me a long time to figure out, but you can just surf off of the docks and just go straight down. This next one is in Canalave City again, but instead of surfing away from the docks, we're going to go to the docks and go to Iron Island. From here on, you want to go in the cave, go on the right hand side, and then once again when it gives you the option, go right hand side again, and then at the very bottom right you will find the Wisp. For this next one we're heading to Floroma City and going as far east as we can before we can touch water, and then we're heading straight north. At some point we will be behind Floroma Meadow, and we want to go in there, and on the very far left hand side you will find the next Wisp. Back to Oreburgh City then, we're going to head as far north as possible until we reach a cave. Now we're not going to go in the very first cave at the top right, we're going to go in the one underneath the bridge, which is a hidden cave. Once in there, I just want to give you the tip that you can actually turn your bike on and off speed mode. So if you press B once, you'll actually start going a lot slower or faster. This helps when you're going over ramps. If you're in speed mode, you'll do jump 2 tiles. If you're in slow mode, you jump 1. So you can see me doing all these jumps, and in the very back of the cave, you will find the Wisp eventually. Back to Oreburgh City once again, and instead of heading straight north, we're going to go to the right just a bit and start climbing Mount Coronet again. Yes, I know, it's sluggish, but we start climbing it, and at the very bottom left there's actually a hole you can go through, which then you are now back outside and you can start rock climbing and go to the next Wisp. Back to Slaceon Town then. Again, I don't make these lists. I don't know why we're going back and forth like this. I'm just going down the list that the devs obviously put together. We're going to head as far north as possible, and when you get to the point where you're going to need defog, you know you're in the right area. You're going to start using Rock Slide to get around, and you'll eventually reach the Wisp. This next one is nice and easy. It's in Hearthrome City. If you just head far south in Route 212, you'll eventually reach a nice little garden with a pond that you can surf over, and you can grab that Wisp there. For our next one, we're heading to Vilestone City, going straight south to Route 214 and eventually reaching Lake Valor. When you reach this lake, you can surf over and obviously go where the legendary Pokemon would be in the original games, and obviously you'll find the Wisp inside. So we're essentially going to do the same thing for Lake Acuity. We're going to jump to Snowpoint City at the top of the map and head straight to it, and once again go where the legendary Pokemon would be in the original games and grab the Wisp. Now we're going to Celestic City to get our very last Wisp, and once again in hindsight this was not a good idea either to leave it to the last one, because if you fail that's quite the distance. We're going to travel all the way through Mount Coronet again, the top part, eventually come out on the other side where it's snowing. We're going to rock climb up and you'll find the Wisp at the very top right of the mountain. Now once again, I've been saying in the other Wisp videos, this will be the last Wisp, so it will be the Alpha Pokemon battle. If you however kill the Alpha, which you'll see in this video, Tiffany is a bit too strong sometimes. If you kill the Alpha, you can actually just re-log in and it will be there again. The last Wisp stays. There you go, ladies and gents, those are all your Wisp locations in Sinnoh for the Halloween of 2023 for PokeMMO. And there's the Alpha as well. I hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and all that business. And I hope I've got enough energy to do Unova now, so I'll see you in a couple of hours. See ya!